As you walk through the valley of the shadow of hell, you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil. A veil that is beyond our own comprehension. Beyond the veil.
Welcome
to Beyond the Veil Horror Podcast.
Yes.
We're going to be doing a lot of things today that deal with underdwellers. Ooh, what is that, you may ask?
He's like my balls because they're kind of below and they're dwelling.
From under cheese?
From under cheese.
No, we're going to be talking about a bad case of the CHUDz.
I had that once.
It sounds really bad, right?
Yeah, like I ate Filibertos at like 3 a.m. I was wasted off my ass. I chudded all over the fucking front room and slipped all around.
Ugh, he stepped on a big pile of CHUD. Oh, Jesus. No, but we're going to be talking about CHUD movies and underdwellers, pretty much. We tried to go a little light this week because we went pretty heavy last week with 6 movies. And I think a review.
Yeah, and plus I'll point out that Patrick couldn't be here because he lost his cat, which is totally not cool.
Big shout out to Merlin. We love you, brother. We're big fur baby fans out here, so if you're an animal fan, if you're not, I don't know what to say to you.
You're a dickbag.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like, animals are just like my favorite family. But yeah, it sucks Pat can't be here today, but we love you. We will be doing some pretty fun stuff today. We were tossing around the idea of whether or not we should do the grave plots this time around because we weren't sure because Pat wasn't here. And it just kind of makes it fluid with ideas. Having 3 heads is better than 2.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
You're really in a group.
But I think we're going to give it a whirl. We came up with like 4 extra names that we put in the cup, and we're going to do that. If you guys enjoyed that, please let us know. We did have some feedback for that, so thank you for getting back to us. Specifically, Buzzkill Podcast,
that's
Laughing
phenomenal.
Horror Podcast.
Oh, fucking cool, man.
And I think somebody else hit me up, but I just can't think of their name offhand right now.
Because they're not that important. No, I'm just kidding.
Everyone's important. But yeah, what have you been up to, man?
Dude, I just got back from AVN.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know what AVN is, it's basically like the Academy Awards for porno.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun because you buy a ticket, it's in Vegas, and they have like one whole floor that's like, well, actually they had multiple floors this year. They had a lot more stuff than normal. So you have an area that has all the porn stars out that you can go talk to, meet, get autographs, and they have other levels where they're selling stuff, other levels where they're doing exhibits. But what makes it really cool, and this is the dumbest reason ever, because it's a convention, everybody's giving out all kinds of free shit because they want to promo stuff.
Right.
So you can literally just walk around like I wanted to get a bag to put shit in, so I walked over to the Penthouse exhibit, and they gave us a Penthouse bag that had like 5 different Penthouse magazines in it. And then there's a guy walking around giving out free shit, and he's just like, please take this, please take this, please take this. So I brought some stuff.
They've got a gun to my head. Please, for the love of Christ, I
brought some stuff that I want to talk about that I want to give to Alex. It comes in this.
You're
very
giving this to me, or just letting me see it?
Well, the pornos I'm gonna take home, but the other stuff you can't have because it's pretty cool. It comes in a Cherry Pimps bag. This is one of the first things that I got. This is not amazing, but it's still free, and I didn't complain about it. You have an official Larry Flint's Hustler Club lanyard. This is a Cherry Pimps lighter. But what's cool, it has a bottle opener on the other end.
What the fuck? Really?
Yeah, dude.
I just used the bottom of the lighter to pop
I know,
pops.
but they figured people were too stupid. The other thing that was actually really cool is I brought okay, let me say this. When you go there, you're being inundated by everybody trying to sell you stuff. give you promo stuff.
Flipping cards,
Yeah,
too.
flipping cards. Well, it is Vegas, dude.
Yeah.
No, but like, I met this one guy who is a young guy, and has his own porn company, and he had one of his girls with him. And being that I'm in a band, I know what it's like to run a merch booth. I know what it's like to try to sell product and push it.
Right.
This guy was so cool and such a nice dude that I told him, like, dude, I know what it's like running merch. I know what it's like selling shit. Like, I'm going to buy 2 of your movies. I don't even know who you are, but I'm going to fucking buy them to support you. Oh, yeah, this guy's company is called Handjob.
Wait, what?
It's called Handjob Kings. It says Royal Empire Productions. I bought Chronicles of Father Morgan and Body Art Volume 1.
Let me see these.
But and I'm not making...
Wait, Chronicles of Father Morgan. There's like a guy... Okay, guys, I'm just going to explain this. There's just... And nothing bad, actually, on this. This actually looks like a legit movie. Except for the nun spread leg on it. But there is a guy holding a church, like a Bible, and he's got his little, preacher cuff thing on his neck. And then on the back...
He's got a little wafer
now, on the back,
hanging
this
out
is
his pants.
pure Christianity. There's a upside-down cross dildo. That's interesting. A lot of O faces. Some penises. Let's read the back. Okay, I'm ready now. Oh, and there's a big vagina there. Okay. Father Morgan is the priest of a small Catholic church where he preaches the good word to his flock. He is God's right-hand man. He is the Alpha and Omega. Father Morgan has a problem, though. Many of his nuns have recently begun struggling with their faith. Sucks for him, right? They want to remain devoted to God, but are finding it difficult to give up their sinful ways. Father Morgan knows exactly what to do to help. I bet he does, huh? His poor despondent girls, he needs to fuck the devil out of them. You have to check out this movie to see how skillfully Father Morgan yields his holy rod to set these sexy nuns...
My rod and my scepter.
to set these sexy nuns back on the righteous path. That sounds like a drama? Is this a drama porn?
It could be. I think it's up for an Oscar.
It's fucking ridiculous. Okay, and Body Art Volume 1, it doesn't... Okay, the story is...
It has a story.
Vagina, penis, vagina, bent over girl, smiley face. That looks like someone I know. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, those are some pretty interesting titles. The story seems a little weak on Body Art Volume 1.
Yeah.
What does there really need to be a story? I don't know.
Yeah, you're not watching porn for plot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like 60, 70, story is probably very important. You know what I mean? At least.
But you know what I think this year? Well, there's a couple things I'm going to say about it. This year, I think the top movie, if I remember correctly, was the Suicide Squad porno parody.
What was it called?
I don't know what it was specifically called, but it was the parody of Suicide Squad that won.
Suicide Squat? Something like that.
Suicide Squirt.
It feels like they should have been a little more creative. You know?
We went back to where the award ceremony was. We wanted to see the award ceremony, but it's so expensive for seats. It's like $300 some, I think, to be able to actually see the award ceremony.
Wow.
So we just went to the casino where everybody was spilling out all the stars, and we kind of got this kind of spot on the side. And literally Ron Jeremy came out and kind of ducked under the rope kind of thing, and he walked next to me. And I was like, oh, God.
Did his penis brush you?
I wish it did. I'd ask it to brush my hair, but there's no hair to brush.
Ah, come on.
I've heard Ron is a really cool dude. I know people that have hung out with him and partied with him.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm not making fun of him.
Oh, no, of course not, dude. Because he's a nice guy. And
he's got a nice penis.
Well, yeah, who doesn't like cock? Anyways, that's my takeaway. I had a great time. I think we're going to go back next year.
Yeah. Sounds like you had a really great time, though, man. And,
yeah. Well, what about you? What have you been up to?
Well, I did some pretty amazing stuff. A little polarizing compared to what you're doing. I went to church. We had a really good ceremony for bloodletting. No, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking.
I found Jesus.
No, I was just making shit up, but
In a
no,
man's butthole.
nothing quite as amazing as probably what you did. Yeah. Oh, I live streamed.
Oh,
here
yeah,
this
that's
week.
fucking cool, man.
I used to, guys, if you don't know this, I used to do live streaming for fucking video games and under the name or the moniker Deacon Rain.
Deacon Rain.
Yeah, Deacon, DekonReighn.
Deacon Rain in blood.
And you can find that on Twitch, by the way, if you guys are ever interested in us playing horror games. Now, I've thought about doing this because Tuesdays are kind of a slow day for the week for the podcast because we're doing stuff everywhere else. But on Tuesdays, I'm thinking about doing just like horror video games and like streaming it live.
Oh, that's cool.
Like PC games mostly. Like I could do Xbox and PS4, but I already have a PC, so I might as well do that. I have both those too. So, but anyway, I did that. I streamed some Resident Evil 7 live, which was fun. It was interesting. I had a really good time. That was last night, actually. I got shit-faced. I got scared a few times and acted like a bitch.
I'm so scared.
Dude, I got scared like a motherfucker,
I
dude.
peed my pants. Didn't you do a stream where you did dishes or something?
Yeah. Yeah. Funny thing is, and I posted about this on Twitter and obviously on Facebook, on my personal profile, I actually streamed me washing dishes. And to tell you a little bit of a background on why this started is because Kyle from Laughing Horror Podcast, me and him are really good friends, and we talk all the time, like pretty much every day. And he was like, I forget what the fuck. Oh, that's what I said. I said that I was getting Resident Evil 7 because Christina was going to buy it for me. And she told me that I had to wash the dishes if she was going to get this game for me. So I ended up washing the dishes, and then Kyle was like, oh, I'd pay to see that. And I was like, okay, here's the fucking PayPal link. Go ahead and donate some money, and I'll go ahead and live stream it right now. And so I did on Facebook, and it ended up being really popular for God knows why.
Because it's funny.
It is, I guess, but I was just being silly. Like, I thought it was the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Well, yeah, but that's how stuff works. Like, I'm going to go home tonight and live stream myself cleaning out my cat's litter box.
You should, dude. I would watch that. But everybody was at work or something, and they were like, I don't know why I'm enjoying this. I don't know. I was like, I can't tell you either, because, like, honestly, this is ridiculous. But Kyle thought it was really funny. He came on for a little bit. But, yeah, I had, like, I think it's like over 600 views,
which pretty cool,
in the bigger scheme of things really isn't that much. But for people to actually give that much of a shit about fucking me washing dishes.
Well, the thing is too, like it sounds kind of silly, but like if you really do something like that and it catches on and it goes viral,
right,
then it's worth fucking tons of money.
Right, yeah.
And that's the truth, because a lot of these, like I've mentioned before, I watch a lot of Tosh.0.
Right. And
he plays a lot of videos of people doing stuff like that, completely benign, completely stupid, but it's so popular that it's on like a fucking TV show.
Well, I would like to think that I'm entertaining, but in the bigger scheme, like, why would anybody tune in the middle of their work to watch someone wash dishes? But the funny thing is that one of my other buddies who was in a band, he did a stream of it too, and he was blaming me throughout the whole thing. He was like, I'm gonna do this, and I challenge everybody to he was trying to like get it to go viral, I guess. That's as wonderful as my life is. I've watched quite a few movies. I watched I Am a Hero.
Oh yeah,
from Japan. The only way you can buy that
you watched
disc,
it all the way. How did you see it that far away?
No, it's from Japan. You can buy the Blu-ray, by the way, for $80. Like, that's how ridiculously expensive it is. Wow. But it's this, like, huge pack that you can get. And I was like, I really wanted to see it. So I watched it. And I got to say, aside from some of the quirky, typical sort of tropes that you would find in Asian cinema, you know what I mean, with the quirkiness and fun stuff, it had some of the most graphic, fun gore I've seen in a while.
Dude, I don't doubt that. I mean, look at any guinea pig film.
And Ann Horror on Horror Amino, okay. She actually, I believe she was the reason that I actually watched it. And I finally got around to watching it. And I was like, you know what? It has like this sentimental air about it, but it's really unique. When people get affected, their eyes, they slide over to the right. and the left, so it kind of looks like you're just seeing white eyes, and then it changes them. Some of them turn into like creatures like you would find in something like Silent Hill.
Okay.
And then other ones, they just have these memories where they do things where they like, one of them was like a sprinter and he would just jump in the air and slam his head on the ground.
Damn.
And then he would run really fast around this parking lot, jump in the air really high, and slam his head on the ground. So his whole front lobe was caved in.
Huh.
But he was still animated. Like, in order to kill these things, you had to actually, like, destroy their brain 100%. So it was interesting. I don't know. Like, I thought it was really fun. It's about this manga artist who decides that he wants to, be a manga artist. He's not been very successful. Nobody takes him seriously. They think all of his ideas are boring as fuck. So he comes with this character who's got a shotgun and protecting this girl and fighting off zombies, and then the zombie apocalypse happens.
Damn.
So, but it is really graphic. The body count in this is insane.
Huh.
But if you can make it through some of the soft, sentimental spots, I think overall the gory bits are really worth watching. There's one fat dude that gets his head blown off, and then part of his brain's still there, and he's running at you with his head like split open and running at this guy.
A zombie guy?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Dude, it was so fucking cool, man.
No, I got to check it out, man, because I like gore when it gets so excessive. It's obscenely silly.
Dude, it's if you guys can find this, I mean, I had to find it through illegitimate ways, but I plan on buying it once I can't buy that special edition for $80. That is just ultra fandom. But you can find it online, and I highly recommend, if you can buy it, and if they actually offer a copy for less, to watch it. I am a hero.
I'm going to check it out.
So, anyway, but that's pretty much it for me. So, but I think it might be that time, Mike.
Whoa. Let me check my watch.
Is it that time?
It is.
What time is it? Horse shots! So, guys, Mike had a kind of an idea. He didn't really know what the ingredients were.
Well, the point is that you don't know. It's a mystery.
Right.
Because it's located in the sewers of society.
Exactly. So we figured Mike decided it, and we posted a picture about this on our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can check it out. It's a Double Down Saloon, Las Vegas, ass juice shot glass. It looks like a toilet. Okay?
Yeah, there's a bar in Vegas. It's this punk bar that's really fun. That they take all what's the leftovers of their bottles and they pour it all into this ceramic toilet, and then you shoot it out of the toilet.
Oof.
But you can buy the shot and take the toilet home. So I have a toilet that I brought home from Double Down.
Nice. It's very classy. What we decided we were going to do, since this is kind of an American movie and it does involve toiletry, we figured we'd pick one of the bottom barrel fucking alcohols, which is PBR, which I don't mind, by the way.
No, it's good. It's you can drink it all day, not have to be your wife. or maybe you do.
Jesus Christ. But PBR, which I actually do enjoy for whatever reason. It's probably nostalgic. And then we're going to mix in Jack Daniels. So we're going to take one shot of Jack, fill this toilet thing up with beer. Maybe I should live stream it on Instagram. What do you think?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, we are live. Live and direct. The Beyond the Veil Horror Podcast. Horror Shots. Hashtag Horror Shots. What we've done here, we're doing a CHUD shot. That's what we're calling this?
Yeah, I call it the
Bad case of the CHUDz.
shot. Bad case of the CHUDz.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Mrs. Somniac? Hello. What's up, Ms.? We're going to be doing our horror shot right now. And we're calling it the CHUD shot? The bottom barrel CHUD shot?
I thought it was commonly called case of the CHUDz.
You got a bad case of the CHUDz?
Or CHUD shard or something.
Here's Mike. All right, we'll just call it a bad case of the CHUDz. Anyway, so this is what we're going to do. So we've got Yak Daniels and PBR. And then we have a double down saloon Las Vegas toilet with poop in the bottom. It's not real poop, but you know what I mean.
It's
you
not?
get the point.
I'm so disappointed.
Oh, shit. I'm fucking drunk right now.
It's a bad case of the Filibertos.
All right, so Mike's going to do it first since he's always the dickhead who never does his shot first.
Did you get a good shot of what it looks like in the water?
Oh, yeah, it looks like fucking shitty poop water right there.
Let's see. I'm going to see if I can actually like drink it out of the because normally it's a drink with a straw.
Right.
But I'll try to drink it straight
No,
out.
no, you're going to just tuck it back, brother. Dude, don't get sexual with it. I got to drink out of that shit, too.
This is going to be difficult.
All right,
it's a lot in there.
Do it up, brother. Oh, look how delicate he is drinking it out of the toilet. Shouldn't you drink it out of the front of the rim?
It is all about the
You're
rim.
supposed to shoot it, dude.
Fuck, man, this is disgusting.
Hey, what's up, Pretty Portrayal? Welcome. We're doing our live horror shots for the podcast. We're actually recording this for the show, so you are a part of it. As well as Ms. Insomniac. We're going to keep this in. There you go. Drink it up, buddy. Come on, little feller.
I gotta chase this, man.
Come on, buddy. You're doing us
I like that
a
there's
disservice.
little pieces of poop on this that they put.
Yeah, it does make you not want to drink it. Cheers. Thanks.
God, man, this is disgusting.
Drink it up, buddy. Come on, man. He's got a little pink dress he's going to put on later.
Yeah, and I borrowed it from you.
Come on. Pour that in there. No.
Do you want me to shoot you?
No. I got it.
I got you, motherfucker. Watch me do it. That's why I took it in pieces, dude.
That's why I wanted to do it all.
Don't blow, dude. Don't blow.
I'm not going to blow. Oh, good God. Yeah. Do not mix Jack Daniels and PBR together.
We have 3 fans?
Yeah, we got 3 people live right now.
Holy shit, man. I never thought we'd get that big.
I know. Yeah, I thought there would be at least 0.
I was hoping like 1.5. It's like 2 people in an aborted fetus. That was fucking cool, man. I like the idea of doing it live like that. That's really fucking cool.
But yeah, we did that live on Instagram. If you guys haven't already followed me, but it's Alex BTV Cast. But anyway, guys, that's it for Horror Shots.
Horror show.
What the hell do you have in your hand there, bro?
It's my cock.
It's pretty hard to see.
It's the news.
Here is the fucking news.
One thing I want to bring up, I don't know if I've decided if I'm going to go for sure or not. I don't know that I actually will.
Okay.
But because Todd Sheets is a guy that I've done some stuff with in the past. He has a paranormal radio show. He has a podcast. He does a lot of...
What's the paranormal radio show called?
Jackalope Radio.
Oh.
Jackalope Radio is his, like...
Moniker?
It's like his...
Production studio?
kind of like his consortium of podcasts.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. I forget what his actual podcast was called.
Okay.
But he does a lot of paranormal stuff. I investigated the Birdcage Theater with him at one of his events, and I got some of my best evidence from him during that event.
Okay.
Also, the Stanley Hotel. But come to find out, I didn't know this. The dude has been producing movies for like, I don't know, maybe like almost 20 years. He has a ton of movies under his belt. Okay. And he has a new movie coming out called Dreamy Purple Neon.
Yes.
And
which I've seen the trailer for. It looks kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it's he did a premiere already in, I think, Kansas, but he's doing one tomorrow.
In LA?
In LA.
Or is it Pasadena? I don't even know.
Well, I think it's technically Hollywood, but
okay,
that's whatever. It's the same area.
Right.
You know. And I don't know if I want to go out there or not. I do actually want to go out there because I think it'll be really cool to talk to the guy.
Fuck yeah.
I was thinking about getting like an actual interview on camera with him.
Right.
But the only thing is like, I'm currently, air quotes, unemployed. You know, and it does cost money to drive out there and get a hotel and shit.
And whatever you're going to do out there.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't fully decided if I'm going to go. I don't know that I will, but
Big shout out to Marsha Miller for bringing that to our attention, by the way.
I know. Because that's part of the reason I want to go out there, because she's good friends with him.
Right.
And I've actually investigated the birdcage with Marsha.
Right.
And so it wouldn't be this huge thing, because she was telling me that she's going to go to the event, watch the movie, and then they're all going to go grab food afterwards.
Nice. Well, the premiere is in Hollywood. I will put a link down below for the Vimeo trailer. I believe it's on Vimeo. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But I'll put a link down below so you guys can check this out. It is a gore-tastic movie. Now, I can't promise you it's going to be the best entertainment as far as writing, but you are definitely going in for a ride with this movie, because it looks like it's like just off-the-wall, crazy gore. I'm definitely interested in the movie. I definitely want to see it. I'm not sure what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my expectations at a 5 out of 10 so that I don't get too excited. But it does look cool. It really does.
Yeah, it looks like one of those movies where, like, I don't want to say trauma, but it's one of those movies that it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Right.
And it's kind of in on its own joke.
It throws the kitchen sink at itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it's cool. So, like, I mean, if I can get out there, I don't know that I will, but if not, I'd like to get Todd on the phone and do an interview, because it'd be very cool to talk to the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to go out there, but again, we're broke as shit, guys. We do this out of our own pockets for your entertainment. We love you. This is how much we love you.
We love you.
No, but thank you guys. Like, we appreciate it. But other news, we got possible Donnie Darko sequel.
This is crazy, man.
Richard Kelly has been plotting to return to the Donnie Darko universe with an ambitious follow-up. So I'm guessing that S. Darko it's like the bastard child. Because that was supposed to be
you're
the
right.
sequel,
I forgot
right?
about that, dude.
It wasn't that good. I don't remember it being good.
I never watched it.
One of the things about Donnie Darko that I think did really well, I think they spent like $500,000 on the movie, and they were able to come across with some like deep philosophical, make you think.
Yeah.
It had, the thing I like about Donnie Darko is that it had like American Beauty sort of style.
Oh, for sure.
Like
for sure.
writing.
It was also around the same time, I think.
Right. And this is Jake Gyllenhaal's breakout movie, pretty much. Witty dialogue with like catchy phrases, choreographed fucking segments with music and shit like that. Really cool stuff. There's like 2 different versions out. There's the original version, and then there's the director's cut version. To be honest, I actually like both. It just depends what mood I'm in. But Richard Kelly, the director, said that he was actually interested in possibly doing another one. He is currently working on another movie right now. It says here, okay guys, it says, while promoting the Arrow video Blu-ray, Kelly told the site, I think there's something much bigger and more ambitious to do in that universe. It's big and expensive, and I think there's time to get to that. I want to make sure that we've got the budget to do it justice, and not just to compromise anything. Another story in this world needs resources, and we need to have that in place. I need to get my next film out of the gate, and then we can go back and look at it. So that's basically what he said. So he's alluding to a official sequel with him at the director's helm.
That's very cool.
I know that there's people like on the fence with that movie. Like they either love it or hate it.
Are you talking about Donnie Darko, the first one?
Donnie Darko, yeah.
What the fuck? It's a fantastic movie.
I don't understand why people don't like it. Like, even if you don't like get into the philosophical aspects of the movie, I feel like you can at least get into it for the 80s thing.
Yeah.
With the music and stuff. To me, it just has so many elements that independent films dream of having.
Donnie Darko is literally an amazing movie.
Yeah.
It's
I
fantastic.
love it.
It's great.
I
dude.
watch it every year. I think it's just one of those movies that I just gotta watch every year. But yeah, so that's it for that. There is some other stuff. You wanted to bring up something about a movie that's coming out that aired at Sundance Film Festival. It's called Kuso. But this movie has caused some waves in the Sundance Film Festival. Like, actually, you told me that people have left the theater because they thought it was too graphic or too disturbing.
People are calling it the grossest movie ever made.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and people were literally getting up and walking away during the screening.
Awesome. Makes me want to watch it 10 times more.
I know.
There is a teaser video apparently up, and if I have the link, I'm going to post it up. Go to the information of our SoundCloud. We have all the links to everything that we ever talk about in the links there below, and you can always click on those links and check them out.
As far as the article I'm reading, it doesn't really give much as to what the film is about. It's just mostly talking about how people just freaked out and like left.
It's enticing nonetheless.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. But if a film is so fucked up that people can't watch it, or they're getting grossed out, I want to go see it. Like,
totally.
I already got a chub.
I want to be taken on a ride where it takes me down Fucktown and just like fucks me in the mouth. Like, I want to experience that because I want to experience something new in cinema that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Or haven't experienced. And even if it's a shitty movie, like something like Serbian film.
I love Serbian film.
I know a lot of people are offended by that movie because of the baby rape scene. But I gotta say, this movie
that's a shining moment.
It is. It is really the epitome. It is like the most
There's
exploitative
nothing wrong with
film.
raping a baby. It's completely natural.
That movie is like Make Them Die Slowly 10 times worse because you fucking physically stuck a penis inside of a baby. But it's not a real baby. And that's the thing that I'm like, I want to feel uncomfortable because if a movie can make me feel something, that means the movie has done something that no other movie has ever done for me. So I'm hoping Kuso is that good. Now, there is a fucking anthology coming out that's going to have all female directors. It's a horror anthology.
What?
Yeah.
Female directors?
First of all, let me just say, I am very supportive of anybody doing any kind of fucking creative thing ever.
But I like the idea of seeing what a woman... Because, like, what a man sees as being horrific might be different from what a woman sees as being horrific.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But XX, one of the things that drew me to this movie, it's an anthology with a bunch of female directors, is because of Karen Kusama, who did the movie The Invitation. And I am such a fucking uber fan of hers. 4 years ago, they acclaimed a short film director, Jovanka Vukovic. I hope I'm saying that right. And XYZ partner Todd Brown. They began a conversation based on the sad truth that there is no horror anthologies helmed by women. And at the 2017 Sundance Film Festival, they brought the fruits of their labor to life in the form of a highly anticipated XX, which is the title of the movie. But basically, the industry has hardly improved its attitude towards the female directors since their discussion began. And they decided to push this through. And they did. Now, each film that they're doing in this anthology, including amazing interstitial animation by Sofia Carrillo, was created in ignorance of its companions. Only Brown knew what all segments were about. They flow in order of intensity, as well as a structural achievement that most anthologies do not even reach, which is great. Like, I know you don't like anthologies, Mike, but have you not read short stories, man? Like,
I have. It's just, I'm not against it, but...
when I read a short story in a book, like something like Splatterpunk's novel 1 or 2.
Or how about Stephen King's The Beach?
Sure, even that. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, whenever I read those, I like that my imagination... And this may be because I'm just like a fucking Imagineer.
Ooh.
To me, leaving it kind of open-ended in a way is like a way for me to develop a story in my own head. And maybe because that's the creative side of me.
Yeah.
That's why I like anthologies, because it's enough to give you like a Twilight Zone-ish like peek into the world with somewhat of a wrap-up, and then like take it further after the fucking show's over. That's what I like about anthologies. Is like, whoa, what the fuck would have happened afterwards? And that's why I say like something like Southbound of 2016 is a really good fucking movie.
Which I still need to see.
You haven't seen it.
I gotta see it, dude.
God damn it.
I've seen it on my ball sacks.
But anyway, XX is coming out. It was at Sundance Film Festival. They have not exactly laid out a time frame on when it is, but usually when you see something at Sundance, it takes about 8 months to come out again. So by the end of the year, if not by next year, we'll see something, which is unfortunate. Like, I hope that at some point we'll get offered tickets to go see Sundance Film Festival, because I'll go.
Hey, it's in Colorado, dude. There's plenty of reasons to go up there. Mostly they're green and they're herb in the region.
They did give a date for a long sought-after series called Prey.
Pray.
Prey is a game that came out. It was about a Native American Indian who basically was abducted. His girlfriend was abducted, as well as his father, or his tribe leader. They got sent up into space. They get attacked by fucking aliens, and their bodies are attacked and like looked on. But it was a game that came out quite a while ago. I actually picked it up on Steam. If you go on like certain websites, you can get it for PC. It's really hard to find, but it's a really great game. It's very ingenious. They're coming out with another movie another game, I should say, May 5th. So May 5th, they're going to be coming out with this. I'm going to go ahead and link at least 1 or 2 of the trailers that I feel is necessary. And you guys can check this out. But Prey, the original one, was so balls to the wall, crazy cheesy. It was good. But the newer one has like a different tone to it, and I think it's still good. So you should check it out. Also, one of the other things that's come out on Dread Central has posted about this is The Exorcist Season 2 update. So, guys, if you are a fan of The Exorcist, the TV show that they put out on, it's coming back, guys.
Yeah, like at first I was kind of down with it because I thought it was kind of cool, but once I actually started watching it beyond the first couple episodes, I was like, eh.
You didn't like it?
No, at first I did, but it got to the point where I just didn't like it anymore.
I personally agree with you. Christina, my girlfriend, she's super into it. Like, she was like, I was like, I don't even care. Like, watch the episodes without me. And she was like, cool, something that I can watch that you won't, like, judge me for not watching.
Oh, you don't need to catch up with me.
Yeah, exactly. So, she said that she was really excited about it. But Jeremy Slater seems pretty optimistic. Actually, he took to Twitter with the following update, and he said, "We haven't been canceled. I've been meeting with the studio and network, pitching my ideas for season 2. I'm still optimistic about our chances."
Optimistic.
So, there's enough buzz about it that season 2 is probably going to happen. And this is good for whatever group that there is, as well as people that might be on the fence, because they kind of have, this is season 2. If there's ever going to be a season 2, this is where they have to prove it.
Yeah.
I like some of it, but it kind of felt very networky.
Oh yeah. It had moments that were kind of shocking that I thought was cool, but it just overall it was not really my thing.
I just wanted more from it.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
What was the movie? It was called Deliver Us from Evil. I believe it was where everybody was getting infected. This guy went out to the Afghanistan, got infected with some fucking virus, which is technically a demon fucking virus. And then he became like into it or whatever. But anyway, that's a possibility, and that's pretty much it for the news. Guys, just so you know, we're pretty fucked up right now.
I'm not as fucked up as I could be, but
I'm fucked up more than you.
I believe it.
This is a rarity.
I'm looking forward to like leaving when we're done and getting some sweet ass fucking drive-through.
Dude, you're driving me to the drive-through because I am that drunchy. I have the drunchies. That's
Dude,
what I have the drunchies.
It is badass. I love getting wasted and being like,
All right, guys. So now it's time for us to do grave plots. If you guys aren't familiar with grave plots, what grave plots is basically a sort of game, an improvisational game that we play between us. And what the way it works is that we've basically written down names of fake movies that we put into a cup and draw out of. We pull random out, and then the other person who did not make the name has to start coming up with a story, and then we all jump in, like the first kill, what story it's about, where the setting is, time frame, all of that, and then we come up with everything about this fake movie all in one sitting, and that is what grave plots is. Okay, Mike, so we're gonna do something here. How do we like? I got it. I got a quarter here.
oh yeah.
So we got a tails and a heads.
Oh yeah. Well, that's really.
I'm gonna let you call it, but I'm gonna flip it and hopefully catch it before it knocks everything over and fucking causes me and my drunk self to fuck up. But here we go. What do you call it?
Heads.
Tails. So it's my turn.
Oh, you son of a bitch. He's gonna pick the dumbest one in there, I guarantee you.
We have, let's see, we have about, I think we have like 12 ideas in here.
Yeah.
But it's my turn to pick. So I'm just gonna grab one of these titles. Okay, I got one.
If it's stupid, it's probably Patrick. Just kidding, dude. Give me a
Okay.
shout out. That is not one of mine.
God damn it, it's one of my own.
Oh, so pull another
I
one.
got
dude.
one of the last ones.
Pull another one,
No,
dude.
just do it. Just do it. You get to start it off.
Ah! It's called Old Folks Home.
Right.
So it's got to be this. This is what I'm thinking already. It's these people that live in an old folks home, like hospice, and they never die because they keep consuming the flesh of younger people.
What if? Okay.
But you see where I'm going, right?
No, and thank you for starting it off. Now, there's only two of us here, whereas there would be normally three of us. So I'm just going to jump in because we got to keep this thing flowing,
Okay.
right? So old folks home, and when I wrote that shit down, I just wrote whatever I could think of.
Yeah.
But old folks home, so you're right. I like what you're saying. But you know how they deliver those meals?
Oh, like Meals on Wheels?
Right.
But maybe the Meals on Wheels are people that they're feeding to them.
What if there is some guy that comes and delivers their meals, and somehow the old folks are so crazy? I don't know if maybe they get infected by some sort of demonic spirit
Okay.
that is able to take over many of them, as in a legion of them.
Ooh.
But they all work within the same demon. Do you know what I mean?
Like a hive mind kind of thing?
Right. What if the main story is the protagonist, I guess, is it a protagonist? Am I fucking up?
Protagonist is the main character who's the good guy.
Right. The protagonist is actually the Meals on Wheel guy that they hire to come bring all the food to them.
Okay.
Because this isn't the most upper echelon place for fucking old folks home, right? They pay somebody outside to come bring them food. And this guy, he's been coming for years, but something has changed over the years. All of a sudden, in the past couple of weeks, some of the old folks have gotten a little weird when he feeds them. What do you think?
Oh, no, that's kind of cool. I mean, I just gravitated towards these old people that live in old folks' home, that they never die. They've been living around forever because they're like Oh, I keep thinking about the. Okay, here's a good example. I don't quote me specifically because it's been a while, but
Okay.
there is a Twilight Zone episode from the 2000-ish Twilight Zone era. Not the original.
The
not
movie?
Not the movie,
Kick
but
the can!
Kick the Clan. Kick the can.
Yeah,
I
clan.
said kick the clan.
Kick the clan, which is totally cool, too.
But I that's where it led me to. I'm thinking in my brain.
No, totally understandable. But what if, okay, so what if these people are really old? They've been around for a couple hundred years in this house that's been around for a couple hundred years. So obviously on the East Coast. Right.
Because it's the only place you're going to have houses that have been around for a couple of years.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking.
No, you're right, actually.
And like, what if this guy who's the Meals on Wheels guy, like, what if he is the new guy? He got hired on because someone died before him. So he doesn't know the inner workings of the old folks' home.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that these people are they vampires? Are they, like, is there something that we can do? Maybe they are vampires and they are feeding off of people, and somehow he found out about their plan, the guy before this new Meals on Wheels guy, and he died?
I'm not sure. I just keep thinking of like these old dudes like staying alive because they're feeding off of the flesh.
I
of
like
younger
that,
people.
but that's what I'm saying. Do they need to be vampires?
I don't know that they're vampires. I see it being like, I keep going back to that Twilight Zone episode where it's not like they're vampires, but it's kind of a magic kind of thing.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's cool. I'm not
okay.
a vampire fan, by the way.
Okay. But Meals on Wheels is kind of cool because, I mean, you could go as far as like, and this is kind of a different offshoot, but let's say there's a situation where there's people that are trying to stay alive, that they need to eat flesh to stay alive, and the Meals on Wheels guy is taking cadavers from like a local mortuary, cutting them up and serving them as food to the people in the old folks' home in order to keep them alive. That's kind of
And
weird.
the new kid doesn't know about it.
You could go there. You could go there for
You
sure.
know what I mean? Like, maybe
Yeah.
that plays out later on
Yeah.
in the story. And so he's kind of sending them food to satiate them, but he's like okay with the fact that this new kid's going because he doesn't want to do it himself because he knows that these are fucking cannibal hungry fucking old folks. Right?
Yeah.
And like maybe somehow like are the residents, the people that take care of the old folks, are they servants to these old folks?
No, I don't think they really know.
They don't know. Okay. So at night they become something different without these people who are taking care of them knowing.
I just think.
But how can they be that old if they know, if they're not in on the kill? You know what I'm saying?
Well, wait, say again. The old folks in the home,
Like the people who take care of the old folks.
Oh, because they're around so
like
long.
are they involved somehow?
Good
Because it
point.
feels like they need to be involved.
Yeah, good point. I
If
didn't
they're
really think about
old and they're like a couple hundred years old,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
it. Yeah. I'm not really thinking about that. I'm thinking about more tonally stuff or tone stuff. Like I see it as it could be like Twilight Zone / Tales from the Crypt, where it's like it doesn't take itself too serious.
Okay.
You know, because I don't.
So you want to make it funny?
Well, it's tongue in cheek kind of stuff. I mean,
Well, I mean the name Old Folks Home.
yeah. So it's old folks' home.
Right.
Making a movie about an old folks' home that's almost like a hospice, and it's keeping the people alive because they're eating the flesh of those who are younger.
Well, maybe we should cut out the element of them being older than dirt and just keep it very simple
Okay.
that they're just old people. And we don't know that they're hundreds of years old or whatever.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe somehow they're like taking over the bodies of these old people. Like, we don't know yet. But I'm just saying, like, it leaves it open a little bit more so that we can involve like children as well as adults and like everything. Because like part of being old is the contrast of being young, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to play on that a little bit, right? Like you have to play on the fact that youth is more alive. Maybe the kids of the grandparent that's staying at the old folks home, quote unquote, bring their kid to visit grandma or grandpa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's supposed to go there on his own because he's old enough now.
Yeah.
And they force him to go and he doesn't want to go. So they think maybe he ran away, but he ends up disappearing, kind of thing. What do you think?
No, I'm cool with that. I like where it's going. I mean, like any sort of idea, it takes more fleshing, but it's still cool.
Right.
You know, I mean,
it could be kind of funny to play on stuff like walking the old lady across the street kind of thing.
Oh.
Which is a trope in, like, common courtesy. Do you know what I mean? Most people are like, I'm just getting across the street. Fuck that old lady. But what if there's that guy that does help him out, and then because he helps her out, they steal his soul somehow? Or, you know what I mean? Like, something like that. I'm just spitballing.
Oh, no, I was thinking along the lines of if you did it in the vein of, like, maybe a trauma film, like if one of these old ladies has to consume another person that's being brought in, she takes out her dentures and put in another set of dentures that are more, like, spiky and vampire, so she's able to, like, eat the flesh. You could really do that kind of stuff. It'd be fucking fun.
I kind of like that, though. So they're like prosthetic vampires.
Oh, it could be, but I'm just thinking...
They're not vampires, but they've associated themselves as vampires only because of the fact they don't know what to call themselves because they need to feed on the living.
Yeah, and you can even go into some actual science in regards to it, because there's been some studies where they've taken old mice and young mice, and they take out the blood from the young mice and inject it into the old mice, that the older mouse will, like, regenerate certain things and act younger. Yeah, they've actually shown that there's some science behind that.
Oh, old blood, new blood.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But it could be something like... you could do all kinds of really dumb jokes, like...
So how do we start this story off first?
Okay.
A family's taking their grandmother to an old folks' home, and it's kind of like tongue-in-cheek, like, fuck you, Grandma.
I think about rabid grannies.
Well, what about it? What aspect?
Well, because it's rabid grannies was trauma, right?
Somewhat. It wasn't essentially, but they picked it up. They basically picked it up like Netflix would pick up.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm thinking about it is not being overly serious. Like
no, and I'm cool with that.
Okay, cool.
But that's what I'm saying. Like when we start the movie out, it's like a family's bringing their fucking invalid fucking grandmother in their minds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it makes you have a reason for them to be hated, the family, not the old person. That they're just pushing him into this fucking environment and that they don't want to deal with her anymore. Or him. Grandma, grandpa. What do you think?
No, I could do that.
We can make some jokes about that in that point. Like, you know, like, yeah, grandma fucking always fucking pisses on the seat. Or, you know, it's like something stupid. And so there's like some bratty kid who's like 14 or 15 years old. She's like a chick and she's trying to like date guys. And it's like that thing where she just doesn't want to deal with old people because she can't understand or appreciate. And she doesn't like her grandparents. You know what I mean? So they put her in this old home because the parents are too fucking busy dealing with the kids. They don't deal with the stress. They're totally unappreciative of their family. They put them in a home and then somehow something happens because of that. Maybe one of them is like a witchcraft or something. And like, what do we do?
Based on concept, based on the name Old Folks Home, you couldn't really call it Old Folks Home. You'd have to call it like Green Acres or whatever the name of
But it's Old Folks Home for now.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying if you gave it a name and you named the movie after the place that it was centered around.
Evergreen Terrace.
Yeah, it would work. I think it would. It reminds me of elements of Bubba Hotep.
Right.
In a way. So it could actually work. Or you could go as far as like going in a complete different direction where you have movies about, there's a cat that supposedly there's one old folks home that the cat seems to be able to detect who's going to die. And it hangs out with the person so they know who's going to die next based on who the cat hangs out with.
Weird.
Yeah, so it's like a weird supernatural.
It needs to be darker for me.
I like the idea of old people eating younger people in order to
I like
stay
that
alive.
too. So that maybe the old people, and since this is kind of a comedy, we've decided that it's kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah, old people's home. That's definitely comedy material.
Right. Okay. Family drops their family or their grandma off. We'll say it's a grandma because it just feels right for me. Drops the grandma off. They're bitching about how she's fucking old. everybody's busy about doing their fucking daily shit. One of the kids is playing a fucking video game on his fucking handheld or on his cell phone or something like that. And he's like, fuck grandma. She's fucking crazy. I don't fucking care. And then one of the parents has some sort of like guilt. So they send the kids off after she's been there for a while to go visit her because they don't want to deal with it kind of thing. And then when the kid goes there, he's supposed to walk there from school because it's only a few blocks or however many, a mile away or something like that. You know what I mean? But they don't know if he left or not to go to the fucking thing. So when he shows up, it's kind of late because he went off and fucked off with his friends or some shit.
Okay.
And then she fucking bites the shit out of him.
Huh.
And his friend or something like that. What do you think? If it's going to be silly, we can just go anywhere with this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's still cool. I'm just thinking about other stuff. I mean...
Yeah. So what's the first kill? I personally think it should be the fucking relatives. Like the first immediate family.
I'm thinking more along the lines of... Okay, so if it's a story about people that are... These older people that need to consume younger people in order to stay alive.
But they don't know this yet. They just get this urge.
Then it needs to be it needs to start subtle, like maybe they like with a lot of these kind of zombie movies, they keep ordering the steak more rare and more rare,
right.
Or maybe one of them finds like a mouse and they eat the mouse.
Maybe they find a book in the old folks home that's not supposed to be there,
like a book.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be.
You know what I mean? Like they start practicing dark magic of some sort.
Yeah, something like
maybe there's a crazy person there that's lived there for a while and nobody believes her, but for one of the reasons, the grandma that shows up there because her family doesn't care about her gets mad about the situation, and then somehow conjures up some sort of fucking craziness. What do you think?
No, that's pretty cool. Now you're making me think about that.
You know what I mean? I'm just
no, dude. I'm saying it's cool. It's like I'm just.
Like, what if, like, one of the people there she befriends, the old person, happens to be this crazy person, and she just, like, for somehow falls into meeting this woman, and this woman's like, I know of a secret book that's been here for years.
Or what if it's going to be a straight-up comedy or more comedy, what if it's like I have this recipe for, snickerdoodle cookies, but it's really like they fuck up and it's a recipe for...
And she's like a witch or something?
Yeah, like, it's like I have this recipe for fucking cupcakes, but it's a recipe for something else.
With kids.
And they fuck it up. There's a secret spell in the book that if you do certain things, it sets off this chain of events. Right, okay, that's what we're kind of getting at. Right?
Okay, yeah, sure.
But for some reason, the spell gets mixed up in a game of bingo. So that's why it all starts. They're playing bingo, but they're actually initiating the spell.
Jesus Christ. So when they say like B17, it's like Bioranchin. And like it's almost like the Evil Dead thing, like an Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
And they didn't. Okay, I mean, we can make it as silly as we want. This movie is not to be taken seriously. So old folks home. So this old lady moves in. Her family hates her. She meets another person who has access to a book. And somehow we don't know if she's even like a part of the fucking old folks home or not. But she's there somehow. And she introduces herself to this old grandma. And they befriend each other. And she tells a spell that they can make, but they need certain... Say it again?
Oh, you mean the bingo part?
Yeah, the bingo part.
Well, I just thought about something like somehow the spell gets mixed up with the bingo game. So
maybe one of the kids has to show up to play bingo with grandma, right? And
that could be.
And like they don't want to hang out, and they end up falling and tripping and cutting themselves on something, and it drips blood on the house, and somehow it like is a donation to the blood god, for fucking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like something stupid.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of like. All the numbers on the bingo card make a pentagram. So then it's like, oh my god, I think I understand this, and the guy's drawing out the pentagram on the bingo card.
So what happens? What happens when they unlock that though?
This is where they start. I don't know. I'm just
Like the grandmas that get kind of infected, but they're like not 100% infected. They're like,
I don't know.
It's like a slow burn kind of thing.
It could be. I don't really know. I get a lot of ideas that are kind of disjointed, but are kind of like fit.
For the sake of fucking time, let's just say they're playing bingo. It unlocks some sort of fucking pentagram because of the fucking thing. We would have to look at a bingo card, by the way, guys. But somehow it does some sort of symbol that unlocks like this ancient spirit that takes over the grandma slowly, and the kid is supposed to be hanging out with her that night, but he bitches out and fucking doesn't want to fucking be a part of it. And she tries to be cool, but when she unlocks the devil, it fucking embraces her. And then when the kid finally returns because he's supposed to stay the night with grandma, all of a sudden she bites his face off.
You know what else would be really cool? This is very trauma and very much on that. If the buzzword of the movie was bingo. So she's like eating this guy's face or like stabbing it. She's like, bingo, bingo.
What if she like takes the kid's eyes out? And other people's out.
She throws them in the hopper and she rolls it.
She rolls it, right?
Snake eyes.
Yeah. It's like eye 4 because there's 4 eyes. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we got this. Okay, let me just repeat this.
Okay, do it.
We got grandma that comes in. Her family doesn't give a shit about her. It's weeks later. She's been fucking there for a while. It's bingo night. Kids are supposed to come visit grandma. They show up, and all of a sudden, they're playing bingo, and something unlocks while they're playing bingo, and it unlocks the pentagram, and the grandma gets infected while the kid's off and about, fucking around because he doesn't want to be a part of bingo because he's like modern kid, right?
This is a blackjack.
And then when he finally shows up, she's won somehow, even after she's been possessed.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody's like, you won! And she doesn't even know. She's just standing there like she's, like, fucking spaced out and
She pees herself.
Right! Yeah, like something crazy, right?
Which is funny because, like, that really works for being possessed, but also works if you're really old.
Well, yeah, because if you're possessed, you pee. And if you're old, you pee. Yeah. So... But anyway, so she takes him up to the room that he's supposed to stay in. There's like a couch in there or something like that. And he's supposed to stay there. It's one of these places that lets the kids stay there, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. For the sake of comedy, he stays there and she chews his face off.
I'm down with face chewing.
Okay. Now, does the grandma start killing other people in the old folks' home? Because that might be kind of interesting.
Well, maybe that since she changes and she needs to consume people, she
tries feeding on the old people first.
But it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. So she...
that night when the kid comes back and he's being a little bitch, she had already fed on Ethel, who was a fucking cunt to her, right? Like... Yeah. So for some reason, and she fed on her, and she felt like rejuvenated for like a little while, but it didn't really do much because there wasn't enough life. So she realizes that she has to go younger, and she wants to chew on this kid's head. But somehow he pisses her off enough that she hates him, and she fucking opens up his head and fucking sucks it out.
Yeah, I was thinking like she waits for like. Maybe like waits for the Boy Scouts to come entertain them and tries to eat the Boy Scouts. Or maybe she goes and does stuff for the church. Or
she offers them cookies and she doesn't have any and then she sucks out his brains.
Yeah.
But it's got to be something cool. Like when she kills the kid, like one of the like Boy Scouts that are coming to entertain them, she sucks out their head and it's like really disgusting. Like, it's got to be like really...
I would love to see like an effect, like a practical effect of this old granny tearing a head like in half, like a coconut, and then her tongue like extending out like a giant cock and just rolling up and bringing the brains back into her mouth.
Okay, I'm down. I'm down. Like, this doesn't have to be a perfect story, like 100%, by the way. So whatever we come up with doesn't have to be perfect. Not that your idea was bad. I'm just saying.
Oh, I know. You're right. It's this is how brainstorming works.
Right.
You know.
So it's a comedy, so we have to be a little like slaptastic, right? So what we have so far, family doesn't like their fucking grandma. puts her in old folks' home. They treat her like shit. Weeks go by. She's adjusted herself, met a few friends there. It's bingo night. The kids want to come out. The parents force the kids to go, or one of the kids to go see the fucking grandparents because it's bingo night, and then they can go fuck or go to the club or whatever the fuck it is, right? So the kid goes there, has an argument with the grandma. She plays bingo anyway, unlocks the Satan pentagram, whatever it is, becomes possessed, has a hunger for old people, or has a hunger for people in general, realizes that old people are not the best substitute for whatever she's possessed with to get energy. She kills one of the old people named Ethel, who had maybe like been a bitch to her earlier that week with something. Kills her. Then the kid comes back, sleeps on the couch. They wake up. Everything's okay. The next day happens. The kid's like bored as shit, and she just chews his face off. Like, I really want the fucking grandma to chew his face off somehow.
Well, I wonder if there's a way to make it funny. Like, she wants to chew it off, but she can't, so she rubs Werther's Originals all over it.
Wait, what? She rubs like on her nipples?
I don't know, but like, I'm like, how do you make face eating funny? Or you could do like, or she could be where she like,
ooh.
Do
when
it.
he comes, because when they wake up, she does the granny thing where she grabs the cheek and
Yeah.
she's like kissing him, and then she starts licking his face, and then starts fucking chewing his face off. You know what I mean?
like, oh, you're so cute. Nom, 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 nom.
Right? Yeah, like chews his face off and then throws a fucking Werther's Original on him.
It could be like too, like she cuts it off and makes it into a casserole or something.
Right.
Like a tuna noodle casserole, something really retro.
So we need a side story. So we need somebody who is sort of
A B
like
plot?
antagonist, who is not antagonist, but another protagonist that's sort of like fighting against her, that realizes that this shit's going on after a little while. Like maybe a nurse or a fucking caretaker who's like in the house, like a younger woman.
You know, if you want to be a straight up comedy, it can be stupid. It could be like an undercover cop that's like investigating like abuse within the old folks' home, and he's parading as a nurse. So yeah,
That's a bit much. I mean, I don't care, but I think it should be something like a priest. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like maybe a social worker or something like that stumbles upon this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it has to be. That's way too far left. Like, that's just like crazy.
So this is what I think. If it's going to be a movie that's going to be silly about like somebody getting possessed by some demon and then
Because of
becoming
bingo.
like some sort of cannibal,
Right.
it could very well be, like I said, it sounds stupid, but like I imagine like 21 Jump Street style stuff. You know, like I said, a dude who's like a cop, but he's pretending to be something else. Like a dude that's like obviously not like a real nurse, but he's like, "Hey man, let me help you change
But
these
why would he
bedpans."
be there?
Well, to investigate like abuse about old people. Maybe it's a bedpan salesman.
Wait, there are bedpan salesmen?
I don't know, man, but
Specifically bedpan salesmen. Okay, so maybe it's like some guy who got a job at the fucking nursing home, the old folks home, because his grandmother died and he wanted to see if they mistreated old people. Right?
Can
we do that?
You can
'Cause
do anything. It could be that. It could be a ghost
I
hunter.
don't think it should be a cop. That just sounds way fucking crazy, dude.
Well, it's supposed to be
I
silly.
get it. It's silly, but let's like keep it like easy.
Maybe
for
he's a
ourselves.
ghost hunter. He's like, why bother?
Oh my! You've lost your fucking mind.
It's like the ghost hunter's like, I gotta go where most people have died.
And then he's like a pornographer, so he shoots films for porn as well.
Oh, why not?
And then he has the grandparents like fuck each
He's
other.
making a senior porn.
Yeah, he's trying to old folks porn.
It's like it's just people's grandmother like knitting.
This is out of control. No, I think it needs to be. We need to keep it simple. We need to add another character.
Okay.
a nurse. It doesn't matter. We don't have to get that detailed.
He needs to be a male gay nurse.
Like, whatever. He's taking care of the old folks, this gay guy. He's, like, totally into it. He likes helping him out, but he hates staying late. He starts to catch on to the fact that something's not right because he finds blood on the floor and then sees that one of the old people is missing, but they think that maybe she's just a little crazy and she escaped because she's just crazy. And she'd always talked about, like, there's a reason why she might have escaped, but they don't, like, put into too much. So they call the police and they don't know what happened to her, so they just wait around.
Oh, yeah.
But then she starts slowly picking people off. It used to be like Ethel, who died. That's what I'm saying. She was the one that they thought, well, she could have probably run away because she's crazy, right? Ethel's crazy and she's a bitch to fucking grandma. Anyway, so as it progresses, they have the fucking Boy Scouts show up to try to entertain them. She sneaks off, tries to tell them, hey, I've got some money for you. And the kid's like, oh, yeah, shit, I got money? Like, he follows her around the back of the old folks' home. And then she fucking, like, sucks on his head and you know what I mean? And just, like...
sucks on his head.
She sticks his tongue in his fucking eye and, like, sucks out his brain like a fucking...
Oh, that would be a great scene.
Right?
Like where she... Well, kind of like that where...
Why do
like,
we want to destroy kids, by the way? That's
like
what I want to
where,
know.
like, the granny takes the guy by the head, the kid, and grabs a straw and jabs it to his eye and sucks out his brains through his fucking
Maybe
eyeball.
it's not kids this time, because we did that last time.
Oh, I like
What if
kids.
it's like the troop leader for the fucking scouts?
Okay.
And she's like, oh, come here, I want to show you something. I want to show you something special. He's like, okay, old lady, you know, like, whatever, I'm trying to type on my phone. Anyway, and he follows her around, and she's like, hey, hold on, do you see anything in the back of my mouth? And sticks his tongue right in his fucking eye. And he just sucks out his brain
Sticks
somehow.
his tongue? Oh,
her
okay.
tongue, sorry.
Okay.
She sucks out the fucking scout leader's thing. They don't know where he is, so then somebody else has to come pick them up. But they figure they'll stay the night there, or for a few hours till somebody comes to pick them up. And she starts to slowly pick some of the kids off, right? What do you think?
I could do that. I'm just thinking about jokes. A blind guy walked into a bar.
Well, it's just got to be silly.
That's not my
We
joke.
got to come up with a simple idea. We don't want to get too elaborate. I think I like the idea. Honestly, I never.
It's never been done before.
I don't think it's really been done.
No.
Like, and I what I like about it, and I probably try to go like a more serious tone with things a little bit. The difference between old and young. So how do we end this up? Okay, so does she become like some sort of creature, kind of like Dead Alive?
I think.
Or does she just like get caught and someone stops her? Like, how do we do this?
I like these kind of movies if it's going to be a little tongue in cheek to end. I like the idea of it ending where she is the winner at the end. Like she winds up killing everybody she needs to kill. She eats all the flesh and consumes.
And
all the
she's
blood
got
she
blood
needs.
all over her, kind of thing.
And she just walks away and continues to do it.
Well, yeah, like she's the survivor, kind of thing.
Yeah, and she's the one who did all the killing. I like
Right.
that kind of like a down ending, but it's not really down because it's kind of sarcastic in a way.
So she kills how many people? Like she kills the scout leader. She kills the old lady Ethel. She kills her fucking nephew or her grandson because he's a little prick.
Well, let's say here's another idea too, and this may have been done in another movie. Let's say the cops are like closing in, and the FBI because they know there's some shit going down with a lot of killing and murder.
People
and
are
this
missing.
Yeah. And she kills her. What'd you say? Her nephew or son or whatever?
Her grandson, yeah.
Grandson. She kills her.
That was one of the first kills. He's the second kill, technically.
Okay.
Because Ethel's the bitch that catches on somehow or something, you know, and she kills her first and realizes it doesn't give her enough energy. And then she kills the kid and gets a lot of energy. But then she kills the scout leader and starts picking off some of the scouts.
Okay. I was going to say, like, as far as an ending, you know, the cops are closing in, she needs to escape. And you see these movies where, like, the person trying to evade the cops, you know, they beat down some of the cops and they put on the SWAT suit and they escape using the SWAT suit or they escape using the gas mask or whatever.
Okay.
But what if she kills somebody and skins them and she wears their skin suit walking out of the building.
It's all bloody.
Yeah, well, maybe you could clean it. I mean,
They've done that before, though, and that's so cheesy. What if, like, somebody in the story catches on, she does some sort of seance to suck the soul out of this one purest fucking kid,
oh, okay.
right? Like, after she's killed pretty much everybody off for the most part, somehow the fucking cops show up, she's doing this seance, and he shoots her in the head right as she's doing the seance. So it's up in air whether or not she's still alive or not.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that the old folks' home carries on. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I know it's kind of a cheesy, cheese dick kind of way to do it, but it instigates sequels. You know what I mean?
And if you wanted to get really stupid, like, I mean, I dig that idea, but like, let's say
she's doing her owie dooey dimba fucking shit over the kid, and the fucking cop shoots her in the head. But did she get the spirit before the kid, and somehow the kid's infected, or is she got the power and she's still able to?
And you're saying like, or where did the spirit go actually?
Right, you know what I mean? Like, so that like the spirit carries on.
If you want to get really stupid, it could like, you could have like Tuesday night dinner and like a piece of Jello mold gets possessed by the demon.
A piece of Jello mold? No.
That would be funny. Like after the credits, you see some Jello come to life.
Oh, no. That is way out of control. What if somehow, like the blood that she leaves, the lady dies, like the old woman dies, and somehow when they try to keep the old folks home because it's public property or some shit.
That's all old.
And so they like a whole new group of family moves in, or it's an old folks home again. And like an old person's like trying to like clean up and somehow gets infected at the end. And so she gets this little twinge at the end.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Kind of like The Ring or It Follows, where it passes the curse onto someone
right
else.
Yeah, like somehow she fucking happenstance walks into this fucking curse and now is infected by the fucking old folks, the fucking whatever grandma's fucking.
It gets passed on via,
what do we call grandma? What do we call her? Fucking Bertha?
Bertha would be cool. It could get passed on. The curse could get passed on either a scratcher's ticket or a bingo card. So it could be the bingo card.
Yeah, she finds a bingo card. She's like, look what I found. And then all of a sudden she just stares off.
Looks like I've already won. And it just forms the fucking pentagram.
Yeah. Something crazy. It lights up and then she starts shaking or something.
Well, she would be anyways because she's old. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is the best plot we've come up with yet. But for the sake of fucking entertainment and not keeping you guys through this whole fucking story, essentially, let's break this down for you again.
Breakdown.
Old Grandma Betha. We'll call her Betha. Fuck it.
Betha?
Doesn't matter. Beth. It's Betha.
Okay.
Because she's Bethany, but they call her Betha.
Okay.
Grandma Betha.
Okay.
Right? Her family doesn't give a shit about her. There's 2 kids, a girl, a boy. The girl's older than the boy, but the boy needs to go hang out with the grandparents when they drop her off to this old folks' home. Betha plays bingo, somehow has the winning combination of unlocking Satan to take over her soul. Because her soul is weak as shit because she's old, right? And then she fucking becomes infected with Satan, kills her friend Ethel, who's a bitch to her somehow in the weeks that she was before when she got dropped off. Kills Ethel, realizes that the energy is not good enough from her.
There's got to be a scene where somebody gets choked to death by a pair of Depends.
Oh! All right, Mike.
Sorry,
Your
dude.
story. So she chokes Ethel out with a fucking pair of Depends. A dirty pair of Depends. Because I ain't going anywhere else with that. The kid finds her. He smells something funny. Find the kid that's like related to the grandma, Betha. His name is Chris, for whatever reason, for just now. Chris fucking gets his head ripped off by Grandma because he kisses him on the cheek, and then she becomes hungry for flesh.
It really would be cool, like we said, where they're like, and then just like
ripped his face off. Yeah, like tweaking his cheek, like, oh, you're so cute. Oh, like rips his face off. Done. Then she sucks his eyeball out or some shit. Scout troops comes the next day. The kid's parents are supposed to show up to pick him up for whatever reason. They don't show up. They show up late because they really don't give a fuck. But the scouts show up to try to cheer up the old folks. And the scout leader follows Betha out back, and she sticks her fucking weird-ass tongue that kind of snakes into his eye. Like, he's, like, transfixed by it. Like, he's, like, amazed by it. And then it just stabs him in the eye and then sucks out his brain. You know what I mean? And, like, she tries to chew on it, but parts of it fall down below her by her legs.
Oh, man.
Right? And then she chucks his body into the woods. Right? Then she starts to pick off some of the kids one by one. Ooh, what if the scout leader, is kind of turned on by the old people?
Oh.
Right? Like he's into old people? And she takes him out and he's like, don't tell, and he grabs her boob or something creepy, and she's just like, plays along. And he's like, I won't tell anybody, Scout's honor. You know? And then she does the Scout's honor after she sucks his head out. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Or he does the Scout honor and he tries to jab it up her pussy.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty hardcore.
Tries to jam it up her gina.
Gina.
Her giner. Anyway, so she starts picking off these Scout leaders one by one, but she has to get 13 different souls. And she has to perform this special ritual on this last kid. And the cops break in because one of the people find out, right?
Okay.
And they shoot her in the head as she's performing this ritual, and she says the last word. So it's kind of up in the air whether or not she she got the soul out or not, right?
When she gets shot in the head, all this hard candy falls out.
Like tampon, or no, like
tampons.
No, like hard candy. Jesus Christ! I don't know what I'm saying, but anyway, so she gets shot in the head. She goes down. They think she's dead, but somehow her blood has stained the house now, and she's gotten the power enough to infect the next people that move in. And it happens to be an old woman, and she touches the ground and looks up at the screen. Something. Like, what do you think? How did Zan go?
I was going to say, like, maybe the bingo card, like, resets itself. You know what I mean? Like, you see, like, fluttering in the wind, the bingo card with the pentagram, and then when she dies, it resets, but you still see the marks that are still there.
Done. So the old woman finds the card in the yard, and it blows, and she goes to chase after it, trying to find some happiness from being at this new house. And she picks it up, and then that's when you hear crazy music, right? Yeah, and then the music kicks in. I'm good. We're done. Movie's over. So,
thank you for
Old
playing.
Folks Home.
Old Folks Home this week on DVD and video on demand.
So now I got to make up a fucking VHS cover for it, like I did the last one, because I just think it's entertaining. So we're going to have to come up with something like that. Now, if you guys have another name that you would like us to throw in the hat to pick, and if you get picked, then we, give you a shout out or something like that. If you have a fake movie title that you think that we could come up with some crazy ass story, please let us know in the comments. Just hashtag grave plots. Hashtag grave plots.
You know what the other thing would be kind of fun to do one of these days if we ever opt to do it? Take these film ideas and shoot fake trailers for them.
Right. No, yeah. But yeah, that costs money.
Well, no, dude, it wouldn't cost money. I mean, I got all the gear. Technically,
where are we going to find an old person?
Of the old store?
Yeah, just go to the old store. All right. Sounds good. Well, that's it for Grave Plots, guys. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the Flesh and Potatoes. It's time to kick off into the Flesh and Potatoes segment of our show. And the theme today is CHUDz.
CHUDz.
And also underground dwellers. Mike, why don't you go ahead?
Oh, yeah, like, I watched CHUD 1 and 2.
Right.
CHUD and Bud the CHUD, CHUD 2.
Right.
But watching it, I really kept thinking about, like, what's another important movie that has to do with underground dwellings?
Oh, of course. And probably one of the most important horror movies of all time.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Or of the mid-'80s in the cartoon era.
Right. What was that? Which one?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty scary...
Oh, yeah, the Michael Bay one was fucking horrifying.
Oh, yeah, that was the scariest horror film I've ever seen.
But I'm not joking. Literally, I'm watching this movie, this CHUD movie, and I'm like, what if these CHUDs fought the Ninja Turtles? They're like, the turtles are like just chilling in their lair, eating pizza, and doing
they
whatever.
probably turn into these creatures, right?
Oh, yeah, it could be. What about turtle CHUDs? That'd be nuts. Like
Turtles and a half
crossover
CHUD.
film.
Turtle power. But no, yeah, we're talking about CHUD. We're only going to be talking about CHUD 1 and 2.
Which is good, because I'm really glad they didn't make a third one.
Right. And you know what? I don't know if I'd mind it, but it'd probably be some schlock fest that's not even worth seeing with no style, Like, even the first one, as serious as it took itself, it still had some style to it, like some creature style. Like, it was pretty unique for its time. And it came out in 1984. It was directed by Douglas Cheek, who actually never really directed anything else. Huh. In fact, I think he's more of an editor than he is anything else. He's literally only directed like 3 movies. Some of the earlier stuff that he was an editor for was a lot of documentaries. He did some shorts, Alien Autopsy, Fact or Fiction.
Oh, he did that?
Yeah.
Wow.
He did editing for it.
Oh, cut it. Wow.
He cut that up, which is kind of big, right?
Also, it had an alien being cut up. He
did Walmart, The High Cost of Low, which is a documentary.
Oh, shit. I never saw that, but that's interesting.
Long Story Short, it's a movie, and Claustrophobia he edited. But as far as a directorial sort of thing, he did Vegetable Soup in 1976. It was just a TV series. I'd never heard of it. He also did Empires, Peter and Paul, and the Christian Revolution.
Ooh.
Directorial extravaganza. Sometimes it's so weird to me that some of these movies get made by people and you go, what have they done? Then you find out they did some sort of like Christian, like weird stuff. I don't know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean, dude. There's a couple examples I can think of. I mean, first of all, look at John McNaughton's Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Oh, okay.
If I'm correct, prior to that, he was doing documentary.
Oh.
That's why it kind of had that weird, creepy-ass feel.
Right.
And
well, that's probably what they wanted for the movie.
Yeah, it could be. And if you want to talk about, too, like someone coming from left field and doing something, there's this band I used to listen to in the 80s. They were on Dr. Demento.
I remember that.
Yeah, the band was called Krypton. And they had one song, it was really cheesy, called, like, Let's Blow Up the Tow Truck. It was about getting pissed off that your car was getting towed, and it was about a guy shooting up a tow truck with a machine gun. But the guy quit music, and he became, like, a preacher.
What the fuck?
So there's, like, videos of him online talking about Krypton, and then, talking about God and stuff.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, I know where you're coming from. You don't make the connection sometimes.
Yeah, no, totally. It just kind of throws me off. I mean, I wouldn't say CHUD is a bad movie. Like, I like it. Like, I think it's unique. It sticks out from a lot of different horror movies, especially from that era. And I think the creature effects in it were very unique, very different. They probably tried to take a little too serious a tone with the story than it probably should have been.
Yeah, but I think part of the reason the film is so notorious for being, like I said, so bad it's good genre,
right,
is because they were so serious about it.
Right.
If they were lighter on it, it probably wouldn't be as famous as it is.
Right. Yeah, and it just kind of, it just, like, the whole, like, opening scene, is so interesting to me. Like, you see the fucking manhole, and this lady's walking with her groceries and a dog, I think. But she walks over, and then the fucking monster reaches up out of the fucking sewer, like the manhole cover, and grabs her leg, and then she's dead. Actually, that lady was actually the wife of Daniel Stern, who was the homeless shelter guy in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And it was his actual real life wife.
And we're talking about the same guy, I think, right?
Right. Daniel Stern was in Home Alone, in the Home Alone series, like 1 through 3.
Yeah, it literally...
Well, I don't know if he was in 3, but I know he was in...
I know, but yeah, literally every time I saw the dude, I was looking for Joe Pesci and Macaulay Culkin.
Right.
That's all I could think about.
Well, I thought Daniel Stern did a good job. He was the tall, skinny guy that was Joe Pesci's piss bandits. What do they call him? The
Piss bandits. It was like the wet bandits or something.
Right, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, of all the acting in that movie, I think he probably did the best job.
You think Daniel Stern did?
Yeah, for me at least.
Okay. Well, he'd been in a lot of other stuff too, but...
Yeah.
And another person that was in Home Alone was John Hurd, who was the father of Macaulay Culkin and the family in Home Alone, which is so weird that they had that. I've heard that there was 3 characters in Home Alone in this movie, but I can't for the life of me figure out which one the other one is. But I do remember, and you pointed this out to me earlier.
Oh, yeah.
That someone makes a small cameo in it.
A pretty young John Goodman.
Yeah, he plays the cop at the diner.
Yeah.
Sitting at the bar being kind of misogynistic and everything like that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see him in it. I mean, granted, it's been a long time since I've seen this flick, but it was still kind of cool.
Right.
I dig seeing these older films that have been around a while, and then all these famous actors pop up that you can, see when they're in other movies and stuff.
There was quite a few big actors that became something bigger later on. Some that stuck through, some that didn't. Daniel Stern was not. I think after Home Alone, you really didn't see him again.
Yeah, I can't really think of it. I mean, I could see him being in some sort of, maybe just based on this movie, but some sort of procedural cop show or something. But I really can't think of what he's been in beyond this.
Oh, he plays a great homeless shelter guy.
Oh, that guy. I'm
CHUD.
sorry. I was getting confused with somebody else.
Yeah.
I was getting confused with the dad guy. But the Daniel Stern guy, you're right. I can't think of much beyond Home Alone.
But CHUD...
Butt chug.
Let's to get this back on track, right?
Butt chug.
Butt chug. But CHUD, which stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underdwellers, well, sort of. I mean, that's the name that they gave it in the
Yeah, but
it's
actually something else, right?
Yeah, they actually called it Contamination Hazard Urban Disposal in the movie. But yeah, no, I mean, in 1984, 80s to me is still one of the golden eras of horror. I think that's where it really kind of started to come out of its shell and start to do some of the most unique individual ideas. Some of the acting obviously wasn't as good as it is today, but the story ideas and the concepts were just so fucking unique.
I know, and what's cool about the 80s too in regards to this is before like everybody started laying on the PG-13 route.
Oh, yeah.
So you got a little more harder edged. And the ratings board was different because you can get away with more blood. Nowadays, things are so fucking tight.
You know, I didn't really mind as a PG-13 was with the remake of The Ring.
Oh, yeah, that was decent, though.
I didn't mind it.
No.
Like, for a PG-13 movie, I was like, okay, yeah, this makes sense because they did an element of fucking atmosphere. Yeah. And, like, I don't know. It was creepy, and, like, seeing the finger go down on the nail and shit like that was just, like, fucked up. But this movie, I don't know. To give you guys kind of an idea, if you haven't heard of this movie, a bizarre series of murders in New York City seems to pinpoint towards the existence of a race of mutant cannibals living under the streets. But why? The movie kind of kicks off. It surrounds a photographer who's kind of a famous, like, to-do photographer. It's John Hurd's character, by the way. But John Hurd plays George Cooper, and there's this chick that he's like, this is like a model. And they live in this apartment complex or studio in New York.
Yeah.
He's taken pictures of like homeless people and stuff like that. And he's like actually developed some sort of relationship with a lot of the homeless people. And he starts to realize that some of the people are missing. there's like a bag lady, and then there's like other homeless people he took pictures of, but he kind of finds himself mixed up in this situation where he's trying to make his career off these homeless people photos, and they're asking for all this extra stuff, but he can't find like his main stars, the homeless people themselves, which he buys them like, food or some shit,
40 ounces.
Yeah, it was just kind of a dick. Kind of a like, hey, yeah, you want a Twinkie? I'm gonna help you out.
Hey, let me take a picture, monetize you. Here's a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I just made 10,000 off your photo. That's nice. Here's a Twinkie. Eat that, you fucking piece of shit. No, but yeah, so essentially, like, he's kind of one of those like, fuck you, I'm not gonna I'm an artist kind of guys. And then he goes out to try to figure out, because his like agent is trying to push him to get more photos of this bag lady. And then they end up finding the bag lady gets arrested for some reason because she tries to pull the gun off the cop or something.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Yeah, well, she does, because she wants to steal the gun to protect them in the sewers. Oh, yeah. Which does make sense.
A turtle should protect her.
Do you have anything in particular about this movie that you would like to say first about it?
I kind of mentioned this before. It's a movie that you kind of need to see to some degree just because it's so notorious.
Right.
It's notoriously bad, but it's one of those so bad it's good movies. But for me, it never really got that good. It's just really bad.
I don't know. There's some scenes that I liked.
There really wasn't much of it for me. I mean, to me, the acting was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no, I'm a cop. I will save you. It's stuff like that. But I still say see it because it's notorious. It's like I was telling Alex, like they've probably spoofed it in other TV shows. I got a feeling they probably did it on Robot Chicken, but I know they did it on The Simpsons, because there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer doesn't want to go into the sewers because he's afraid that the CHUDz will get him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm saying, like, it's pretty notorious for being bad. So on that note alone, I would say give it a watch. It's almost like an 80s or a modern version of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
It's kind of got a typical story in the way, because it's got like the whole radiation factor, which was like an unknown thing in the 80s. Everybody was worried about radiation because of fucking nuclear fucking fallout, and because of fucking all the fucking power the nuclear power plants and stuff like that. Like, it was kind of a new thing, I guess, in a way. So people were a little bit worried about it and what the dangers of it were. So they got worried that what would happen if like they stored this nuclear material underground, and like what would happen. And it essentially changes these people into these fucking mutants.
I did like the effects on the creature.
With glowing eyes, by the way.
I know. I said I did like the effects on the creature.
Creature's effects was awesome.
Because I don't really see this kind of effect anymore. I saw it a lot in the 80s, where like they create the thing, they make it look like an oil slick, and it's all oozing and weird looking.
These things look like beefed up fucking like warriors or some shit. You know what I mean? Like some fucking like beefed up gym rats.
Beefed up gym
like
rats.
Their necks were like fucking swole. Like triangles, dude.
You find them in the sewers and they're like fucking benching like fucking 250, 300.
Oh, they're like eating a baby in one hand.
Spot
me. There's not a lot of story here, but what they do well is like some of the. I personally like some of the shots that they took in it. I love the opening the opening scene with the manhole. I thought that was well shot. Like, really looked really nice.
Oh yeah,
the creature effects are fucking top notch. Like for its time, I think.
Yeah, for the time and for the budget.
Right, like they did something different. Like glowing eyes, teeth that were like fucking ready to like saw people's shit off. I just think it's kind of interesting what they did with that movie. Now, a lot of people say that that's their favorite, but still, for me, personally, I kind of lean to the second one, and we'll get into that.
Okay, yeah.
But I just kind of, I don't know, like, while I like some of the aesthetics of the first one, and it kind of would have been nice to see how serious they would have taken it in the second one, I kind of feel like part 2 is kind of like Return of the Living Dead sort of style.
Yeah, exactly.
Like part 2 or 3. All right, probably part 2 with a mix of 3.
The first one, they were trying to make it a serious movie, and people kind of saw it as funny because it was so bad it was good. Kind of
right.
Thing. And then they saw that and they monopolized on it or capitalized on it for the sequel, and they made the sequel more of a comedy.
The original concept art for the CHUDz featured, it's basically if you look at the still gallery in the Anchor Bay DVD release, it shows that their faces look more like an animal than what the creatures that they came up with. And I'm sure they had probably like a billion different fucking concepts for it. In 2011, as an April Fool's Day joke, Criterion, the Criterion Collection people,
Oh, yeah.
posted that they were going to make, this was going to be their next release for a special edition DVD and Blu-ray disc for the film. But later on, it came out that that was a joke. And I couldn't imagine that they would ever pick CHUD
Yeah, but
as a Criterion Collection.
it just goes back to what I was saying. Like, TV shows are parodying it because it's so bad.
Right.
So if Criterion is making a joke,
But see, there's something to be said about that. If fucking Simpsons are using it as a fucking,
yeah.
a joke, and there's some sort of parody towards that, then it means that it affected somebody in that way.
Well, yeah.
So, was it a great film? I don't know. I don't even know what the number it out of a 10. But it's definitely something that I enjoy. I just personally like part 2 a lot more.
Bud the Chub.
Well, because, you got Garrett Graham in it. Mary Warnov is in it for like a little bit. She was in TerraVision,
Oh, okay.
Night of the Comet. Part 2, I think, stands out on its own, as a completely different film, completely different atmosphere. It's a total joke to the bone movie that never really got much of it. I don't even think it got a DVD release in like Europe and shit.
Damn.
But it never got one here in America.
That's weird. I mean, 'cause-
so if you had a copy of the VHS, it was rare. And then I bought a copy of the like region, whatever it was at the time, you know what I mean, DVD. It was pretty hard to find. It was directed by David Irving. If you guys aren't familiar with him, he did a couple other movies, like weird movies like Rumpelstiltskin, The Emperor's Clothes. Those are the bigger ones that he did. After CHUD, he actually did Night of the Cyclone. But other than that, for the most part, he only did shorts after CHUD 2.
yeah, that is kind of weird. I can't really see a director going from features back to shorts.
Right.
Unless it's a money thing or control thing. Don't
Who
know.
knows? The writer for it was Ed Naha, who actually did the writing for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, and the horror movie Dolls.
Oh, the Stuart Gordon
Stuart
one.
Gordon one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting to know that they worked together on this for part 2. But I think the whole movie kind of had like a vibe of Return of the Living Dead style writing. Not as maybe cool or hip, but you could tell that they were trying to go for that angle a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of like, it actually, CHUD 2 kind of reminds me of Night of the Creeps more than anything.
Huh.
Because, I mean, they find the body in the fucking morgue. They're trying to find another body.
Oh, yeah.
That's totally Night of the Creeps right there. The story goes, a military experiment to create a race of superhuman warriors goes awry, and legions of murderous zombies are unleashed upon a suburban neighborhood. Which is interesting. It's like, now they're zombies.
yeah.
They weren't like these like weird creatures with glowing eyes anymore. They took it to the zombie realm in a way.
They're loosely connected movies, but they're two different movies.
Right.
Two separate universes.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was really slow up until the end.
Really?
Yeah, for me it was.
You didn't find any humor in it up until there?
I did not laugh once.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't
I
laugh,
thought it was
laugh
silly.
at all. Once the CHUDz got to the dance, that's when it started to pick up for me.
Okay. And to give you guys an idea, Bud the Chud, who's the star of the show, villain, whatever you would want to call him, is Garrett Graham, played in TerraVision. He did a couple other like non-horror movies, but he was also in Chopping Mall for a short second.
Chopping Mall's fantastic.
I watched that recently on Shudder. I thought that was really fun.
Well, shopping costs you
I
an
think it was-
arm and a leg.
Yeah, is that what it says?
That's the tagline. And that's one of my favorite taglines for a movie. My second favorite is popcorn. Buy a bag, go home in a box.
I like our tagline for fucking the Jiggles show, the Mr. Jiggles show.
Oh yeah, what was
He's
it
going to
again?
build the best show, piece by bloody piece. Just seemed typical. But yeah, Garrett Graham's in it, and to be honest, I think Garrett Graham is one of the more underrated '80s actors, or just actors in general. He got kind of picked for a lot of like schlocky, fun, jokey movies, but I'd seen an interview with him, and he was talking about how he felt like he could pretty much act any way he wanted to. He wasn't a method actor, so he wouldn't like go and lock himself in a room for like 2 weeks and like pretend, as somebody else.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like, I'm just going to make it up on the spot, and just do it. Which is probably good and bad. Like,
I think that's really an old school way of acting.
right.
Because I've heard stories from actors. I don't know who or what or where or whatever, but there's like some old school actor and some new actor, and the new actor was trying to be all method and crazy, like you said, locking himself in the room.
Right.
And the old school guy was like, "What the fuck is your problem? Just act, dude. That's the whole point."
Right, you just talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty interesting. Some of the features that they had on CHUDz, the Vestron Collector series or whatever, they weren't really great, but they were decent. And it was weird to see Garrett Graham and the age that he was. But whatever, it's he was talking about how he was kind of an arrogant prick at that time.
Oh, really?
And then he thought he could be better at Hamlet than anybody else. And like, he was like, but I just kept getting hired for these movies and I figured I could do anything I wanted and it didn't really matter because I could just act and I just needed to get paid. So he just did it anyway. But he said he was kind of too snooty at the time. Brian Robbins, actually, one of the main kids with the mullet.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He went on to produce like a ton of fucking movies, dude. From like after that, he just like went on to fucking like produce and produce and produce and produce. He did a lot of TV shows and stuff like that, but it's just interesting to know that someone from that movie actually ended up having like a pretty big career. I thought it was a good balance between silly and funny and a little over the top. It does have like that Return of the Living Dead 2 feel.
Yeah.
But it also has that Night of the Creeps feel to it as well. Might not be as funny or quirky or stylish as like Night of the Creeps, but still better than Return of the Living Dead 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was, like I said, I thought it was a little slow up until the end because I was having a hard time following it because I was, if I'm not fully engaged in a film and I'm just not really doing it for me, I start doing other things.
Right.
But once it started to roll toward the end, there's actually do we want to talk about our favorite stuff right now in the film?
Well, we can.
Okay, because I think one of my favorite scenes was when the CHUDz show up to the dance, and the kids are in the chemistry room.
Okay.
And they kill the professor.
Oh,
with
where
the
they
Bunsen
stuck
burner.
the Bunsen burner through his head.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool scene.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention our fucking favorite scenes from the first one, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what favorite scenes I had from the first one.
My favorite was when they go, like, from the first CHUD, guys, sorry. From the first CHUD is when the glowing head goes into the studio apartment chasing after the girl or the guy, and then his head sort of, like, almost comes off. It, like, grows and, like, like, I thought that was really awesome. Other than that, there wasn't really that many scenes per se, but for CHUD 2, so you said what was your favorite?
Oh, the professor getting his head slammed through the Bunsen burner thingy.
That was a really unique shot because they actually used a real flame.
Yeah, the other thing I liked about it too is it was the only scene of the film where I actually started feeling some I don't want to say sense of dread or like tension, I guess. For some reason, when I was watching the guy like grope after the girl and they're trying to get away, and that's when it kind of actually started feeling like some real tension for me.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't ever think that they were trying to go for tension in this.
They may not, but I felt something. I also dug the very last scene. It's really cheesy. Oh, you know what else I can talk about too?
What?
And this is like me being super, super, super nitpicky, and this is totally stupid.
Okay.
You know how they basically have the guns that shoot like the
Ice.
ice, and that's how they freeze them?
That's why I say Return of the Living Dead 3.
Oh.
That has that vibe in it.
I was going to say, I actually watched a Mythbusters episode where they tried to actually see if that was possible.
And it wasn't.
Well, what they had to do is it had to be shooting the whatever the cold liquid is, liquid nitrogen.
Right.
And it also had to be shooting water at the same time.
While they were doing it.
While they're doing it. And it also had to be in a room that's already like almost freezing.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Like, there's no way. But they
Yeah.
make it look so simple. There's like even a scene at the end of the movie almost where they're on the diving board and
Yeah.
he's like down on the floor and shooting it up towards Garrett Graham's CHUD, Bud the CHUD.
Oh, yeah.
And she's standing right next to it. I'm like, if it's that powerful, she's probably going to freeze.
Yeah, you know what else I liked about that whole sequence?
What?
That room brunette chick, she was fucking hot.
Oh yeah. She was.
Whatever she was wearing that she
She
changed
did an
into.
interview for the second one as well. Her name is Trisha Lee Fisher.
Yeah, I mean, her bathing suit thing was like so 80s, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I'm down.
She
I'm down
said
with this.
that fucking outfit, because it was like that one piece
Yeah.
where it like went up her crotch and like a V up to her shoulders.
Yeah.
And she said that was like, it was riding her so much that she had to run in it and stuff.
She had to
was
run
like,
in
I
it?
kept getting a wedgie.
Ugh.
So, but yeah, she really actually, it seemed like she was like, she really admires the film, and she's like, it's like one of those shitty movies, but I had so much fun doing it, and just the way she seemed about it, she seemed so happy just to be a part
totally
of
cool,
it.
man. That's fucking awesome.
Whereas like Garrett Graham was like kind of run down and tired and pissed off that he'd ever done anything. He still was like open about it and talked about it, but she just seemed so much more vibrant about it. There was a couple of fucking really great one-liners in this movie. One of my favorite quotes was when the colonel, who was like in charge of the CHUDz, like the section. This is why it reminds me of Return of the Living Dead 3 a little bit.
Okay.
Because he's kind of like the guy that wanted to like have this operation work with these creatures, but it went wrong and they couldn't do it. So it just totally reminds me of Part 3 in Return of the Living Dead. But he goes, as he's driving by the barber shop, he's like, "Oh my God, only the goddamnedest ugly barber I've ever seen." I was just like, Jesus, that shit made me crack up. And then there's this scene where the chick is doing the exercising, and she's like, yeah, like you've ever fucking gained any weight, you fucking dirty fucking sock wearing slut bitch whore, something like that. And then Bud the Chud's like dancing outside. Do you remember that part?
Oh yeah. One of the lines that I remember, and this is a terrible, terrible line.
What?
I told you about it, and I'm a big fan of like terrible humor. At the end of the movie, the colonel guy's in the back of a truck driving away, and he has a blanket on, and this little dog jumps up in the back of the car or the back of the truck,
Right.
and he's like, "Shh, I'm undercover."
Yeah, that was really bad.
I was like, "Really, dude?"
But the tone of the film was silly.
Yeah,
Like, there
it
is no way that you should take this movie, like, serious.
Oh, yeah.
It is just silly. But if you have a kind of if you're a fan of, like, something like Night of the Creeps, Return of the Living Dead 1, 2, or 3, there's elements of that in there because the type of zombies they are. It's very similar. They don't die a special way. In fact, the only way they can die is to be frozen and electrocuted.
Yeah, you could say as far as like even if you're into Trauma. I mean, this is a little higher budget, I don't want to say better than Trauma because I like Trauma films.
Oh, I think it's better than Trauma.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say it is a step above Trauma.
I think, yeah. I mean, Trauma has its place, and we talked about watching the Death Race 2050 and how it kind of reminded us of the golden days of Trauma.
Yeah.
In a way. One of the things, Robert Englund, he makes like a literally like the quickest cameo, and I saw it immediately, and I forgot that he was in it. I was like, "That's Robert Englund." He's like
really?
walking across a street with a kid, and it's totally him. But they do nothing more with it. Like they don't show a close up of his face; it's just back up. But I'm like, "That's Robert Englund," and it totally is confirmed that he is in this. But other than that, I mean, there really isn't too much about this film. It was interesting to kind of watch some of the extras in the Vestron Collector series. And by the way, guys, if you guys collect these Vestron series, this one wasn't as bad, but I've noticed with the Vestron series, I'm just curious if you guys are experiencing the same thing or I'm just seeing shit. But I feel like when I'm watching the movie, it feels like it's vibrating a little bit. Like almost like the film was like flapping around when they were recording it.
Maybe you were flapping around.
No, but it really feels that way. And it's
No, I hear ya.
like that really bothers me a little bit because it's just like it just feels like it's vibrating. But this one didn't do it as bad. Return of the Living Dead 3 did. So I don't know. When I got that for the Vestron series or whatever. So, but now if you had to pick out of the two, like which one of these do you think would be your favorite?
It's really tough because I like and dislike both of them for different reasons.
Right. Like if you could mash them together to make a movie.
I like the first one for its. I hate using the term historical value.
Okay.
But because it's so notoriously bad, I like the first one because it's notoriously bad.
Okay.
But if you're looking at actual film and plot and story, I'd say go with the second one.
It's like it's really hard to destroy or pick one over the other because it's kind of like it's like two different movies. Like it doesn't. It really makes
totally.
no sense to even kind of compare them as to CHUD 1 and 2 because they do so much different. The first one's like literally creatures underground fighting people, and then you got the second one which is like zombies. Like they completely rewrote the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. And you go from a serious horror movie to like slapstick nonsense.
Right. And honestly, it's weird that it even had a sequel to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder what made them want to make a sequel for it anyway. But obviously, they made enough money to be able to do that. But yeah, I lean a little bit more to CHUD 2 just because I thought it was just fun. And I don't know, the silly humor and stuff in it, I don't know. It just strikes me right. But if you guys have a favorite, what do you guys think? If you like the first one more, and why do you like it? If you like the second one more, why do you like it? Like, if you don't like either of them, why do you not like them?
Yeah, or maybe there's another film that's in this similar to it.
Right.
That'd be interesting because if, like, let's say I'm saying that I'm not a big fan of CHUD 2, but then, like you said, Return of the Living Dead.
3, yeah, and Night of the Creeps.
Yeah. Maybe some other movie that's similar that we can check out.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it for our show today. We tried to give you a little bit extra. We're one man down. But we really do appreciate you guys stopping by. And if you haven't already, please do add us on our social media. If you're listening to us on YouTube now, add us, like us, subscribe to us, and then hit the little bell button on the bottom so you can follow us when we post new stuff.
Yeah, we love it when you ring our bell.
We're on Instagram and all these other places, so if you can, just definitely follow us and let us know, and we'll try to keep you up to date. Also, let us know if you have any ideas for a horror shot or grave plots. If you got a name for a fucking movie that you just want to come up off the top, try to be as vague as possible. The more vague, the better we have to not lead us into the story. We can just kind of make it up as we go. Thanks for stopping by. We will be back on Monday, probably with Pat, I'm pretty sure. So
I hope, man. I hope. I miss the dude.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody here to grab my dick.
Yeah, it's like when I'm with you, I'm like, wow, this is what was wrong with the show. I'm kidding. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time on Monday.
Have a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Beyond the Veil Horror Podcast.
See you guys.
Listening to Beyond the Veil Horror Podcast. Tune in every Monday for a new episode.